This is Dil Se with me, Tausif, only on Fever 91.9 FM with the Bollywood in Superstar. And tonight, it is a special edition of Voice of Tomorrow where we have a very popular, much sought after singer known to the city as Mr. G.D. Sharma. And I asked him, how can I introduce you? And he just says, as an HR professional. Oh, no, we want to know a lot more than that, Mr. Sharma. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Tausif. It's a delight to be here.
Awesome. Yeah. All right, so let's dip really back.
Yes.
And go back as to asking you how your interest in music started off.
See, I think the biggest influence for me was being in a defense establishment. My dad used to work in the Indian Navy. So we were right in the mecca of Hindi film shooting, which is Lonavala, which is a small town or a hill station between Bombay and Pune, and we were in a naval base, and almost every other day there would be a film shooting going on. It's either Dharmendra or Jitendra or Rajesh Khanna coming there for a song recording or for a fight sequence and things like that. So it was a very picturesque surroundings, and the scene was absolutely kind of custom made for film shooting and things like that. And of course, who doesn't know Khandala, for example? That's a much more popular station. So that's where I grew up. I mean, I did most of my schooling in the Kendriya Vidyalaya in Lonavala. So, seeing film shooting, bunking the class and going to see Rajendra Kumar, driving down a jeep and saying, Aap aaye, bahar aaye and things like that. So it was actually just getting kind of seeped into the film music and things like that. And of course, we had a lot of friends who would all be crazy about
music
film
and
music
singing.
And every night there was almost something like a ceremonial or a ritualistic kind of thing to go and sit on a treetop as 4 or 5 common friends after dinner. And then, hang a leather-bound transistor from a tree top or a bark.
Right.
And then listen to Bina Ka Geet Mala on a Wednesday or a Vivid Bharati on all days. It used to be kind of exposure to that kind of music.
Right.
But the point also is that, I didn't get formally trained. But I think, like we say about Carnatic music, we do need to have an ear for music. I think
Absolutely.
that I hope I do have. And that has helped me to appreciate the nuances of music.
How modest he says, I hope I do have, it seems. We'll get you to sing here, sir, and then we'll find out. Yeah,
sure.
Awesome. But I'm going to come back and ask you how you began singing, though, right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, with us tonight is Mr. G.D. Sharma, and yes, it's a special edition of Voice of Tomorrow. He's also popularly known as the founder of Geet Gata Chal. What is that all about? Stay tuned. We'll find out. This is Dil Se With Me, Tausif on Fever 91.9 FM in the Bollywood in Superstar. That's right, this is Dil Se With Me, Tausif, only on Fever 91.9 FM with the Bollywood in Superstar, and it is the special edition of Voice of Tomorrow. Why is it the special edition? With us in the house, Mr. G.D. Sharma, and on Dil Se, he's promised to sing a lot of Bollywood classics for us, but that is in just a little while. Mr. Sharma, thank you for telling us how you became an avid fan of Hindi music, but how did the transition from being a fan to singing on stage in front of an audience happen?
Yeah, actually it happened late in school as well, because when I did the higher secondary, so All India Higher Secondary. So the 10th and the 11th standards are when we actually get exposed to students from other colleges on intercollegiate competitions and things like that. So I distinctly remember we went to Nagpur for a cricket match, and I was representing also my school in cricket. So then in that night, one of those days, we had a kind of a music contest or a get-together, and remember I sang this Ye Jeevan Hai from the film Piya Ka Ghar.
Wow.
And there was this boy who came and from some other school came and said, no, this is not the way to sing it. I'll tell you how to sing it. So I felt a little cheesed off, but then I think that was the starting point of trying to listen to others and learn from others as well. So the 10th and the 11th standards were more of exposures to other schools and all that. But really the break came in the first year of my college in Bombay, because we shifted from Lonavala to Bombay. I had the honor of being a classmate of the legendary Bollywood singer Suresh Wadkar.
Oh my God.
So he was in the Marathi section and I was in the English medium. I mean, we had those English medium and all of that. So then in the first year there was a talent competition and there was singing and all that. And of course Suresh Wadkar is a Shastriya Sangeet trained person and I was just literally a novice in the whole game. But I still remember that I sang this song Kuch To Log Kahenge from the film Amar Prem. and the judges went into a discussion or a closed door meeting, and because Suresh Vadkar was anyway leaps ahead, that year they actually announced saying that for the first time we are going to make a change, and we'll have a separate set of prizes for Marathi and separate prizes for Hindi.
Right.
So Suresh Vadkar got the first prize for Marathi, and I got my first prize for Hindi. I think that was like almost like an Oscar for me. And then I think there was no looking back, because then I joined, we started a college music troupe and things like that. I still remember singing on stage with several of my friends and things like that. And then I did my BCom honors from Bombay University, and then went on to do my masters from the Tata Institute of Social Sciences. So that's when again there was a smaller group, but then they all knew I sing. Every other function they would say, hey, come on GD, bring out your books, and we would have lyrics books.
So you have books by then? Oh, nice. Well, people, it's turning out to be a very interesting story. We'll come back and find out how popularity have added on to that singing talent in just a bit, and we'll also get him to sing. Stay tuned. This is Dil Se Apni Tausif on Fever 91.9 FM. Idu Bollywood in Superstar. This is Dil Se Apni Tausif on Fever 91.9 FM with the Bollywood in Superstar. On tonight's special edition of Voice of Tomorrow, we have the founder of the troupe Geet Kata Chal with us, Mr. G.D. Sharma in the house, who's taking us through his life story, and starting now, he's going to sing for us in just a bit as well. Mr. Sharma, once again, thank you for joining us here on the show. And I've been asking you, you told us how singing happened to you during school, then on to college, and life is happening right now. College is happening, you're expected to take up a job, and then music is also happening. How did you manage to balance the two?
Well, work is work, but then you also need what today people call work-life balance. So I think one way of balancing out my life was also indulging, if I may say, in music. And the journey continued, as you rightly said, because first it was my sisters who were my biggest fans at home, and then slowly we went outdoors, and then it was a college, then the post-graduation as well. So at the Tata Institute as well, I used to be kind of participating in events and things like that. After that, there was also another brush with a legend from Bollywood, and that was when I kind of started working in a bank for a very temporary period before I went in actually for my post-graduation. And during that time, I registered for law in Bombay at the Government Law College, which is the most famous college in Bombay. And would you believe it, Hariharan was my classmate there.
Oh my
and
God.
We would, travel by the local train. He would get off in Matunga where he lived, and I would continue to go to Ghatkopar. And such nice things and things like that. And then of course I started following his career as well to see where he goes and where he traveled and things like that. And then people like Kavita Krishnamurthy and all of them would participate in the Mood Indigo Festival of the IIT, where most of the college grads would go and
showcase their talent and sing.
And it was a great talent festival. And then after that, of course, I got into post-graduation, as I said, and then started working. I came back to Chennai to work, and I started my career with SPIC. And the first thing that happened was that we formed a troupe here. We formed a music troupe here. And, the YMCA in Nandanam, if you remember, if you know, it's a big, kind of a destination for such events and shows. And we would do public shows. We used to engage Sridhar's Navrags, which was a music troupe at the time here, and they would support us with programs and all that. And I also happened to travel to Tuticorin, where I actually spent 6 precious years of my life, and my son was born there and things like that. So there again, we formed a troupe there, and we would not give it up, There was no giving up music at all. And right through, with the result that I came to be known as a HR person with a songbook in his hand, And my colleagues in EID Parry, where I worked in Murugappa Group, would still say, GD, so today evening there is a, cultural. So have you brought your songbooks, whether you bring your office notes or not? And so it would be wonderful, actually. So I've never actually given it up. And I think my family certainly has been a great support, because I keep singing and humming all through the day at home. Whatever I do.
And they patiently listen to you.
Listen to me. I guess there's no other
alternative.
But then I think, that's been a great encouragement.
Awesome. We'll come back and get a little bit more of that story. For now, what is your first song for us tonight?
This is Dilip Kumar movie, called Yahudi, released in 1958. Shankar Jaikishan, the iconic music directors, and it's sung by Mukesh. So Mukesh is also my favorite, one among my favorites. And the song goes, "Ye Mera Deewanapan Hai."
Wow, what a choice! Well, this is a treat for all Bollywood classics lovers tonight. We start off with "Ye Mera Deewanapan Hai." G.D. Sharma in the house, ladies and gentlemen. This is the special edition of Voice of Tomorrow. My name is Tausif. This is Dil Se, and you're tuned into Fever 91.9 FM in the Bollywood in Superstar.
दिल से तुझको बेदिली है, मुझको है दिल का गुरूर। तू ये माने के न माने, लोग मानेंगे जरूर। ये मेरा दीवानापन है या मोहब्बत का सुरूर। ये मेरा दीवानापन है या मोहब्बत का सुरूर। तू न पहचाने तो है ये तेरी नजरों का कसूर। ये मेरा दीवानापन है। दिल को तेरी ही तमन्ना, दिल को है तुझसे ही प्यार। दिल को तेरी ही तमन्ना, दिल को है तुझसे ही प्यार। चाहे तू आए न आए, हम करेंगे इंतजार। ये मेरा दीवानापन है या मोहब्बत का सुरूर। तू न पहचाने तो है ये तेरी नजरों का कसूर। ये मेरा दीवानापन है। ऐसे वीराने में एक दिन घुट के मर जाएंगे हम। ऐसे वीराने में एक दिन घुट के मर जाएंगे हम। जितना जी चाहे पुकारो, फिर नहीं आएंगे हम। ये मेरा दीवानापन है या मोहब्बत का सुरूर। तू न पहचाने तो है ये तेरी नजरों का कसूर। ये मेरा दीवानापन है या मोहब्बत का सुरूर। ये मेरा दीवानापन है।
This is Dil Se with me, Tausif, only on Fever 91.9 FM with the Bollywood in Superstar. With us in the house, Mr. G.D. Sharma, and you just heard him sing Ye Mera Deewanapan Hai just a little while ago. But there are more songs coming from the veteran singer, as he's been telling us how he did not let his connect with music go away. And I'm getting testimonials from his family members, his daughters here, his granddaughters here, and they are vouching as to how he sings in the bathroom and everywhere that he can. All right, let's come back to Mr. Sharma.
Yeah.
Sir, you did tell us about the troops that you started, but your most consistent legacy till date has been Geet Gata Chal, the troupe that you founded. How did that happen?
Yeah, see, my work takes me to meet a lot of people. Basically, being an HR professional, I think my job is to really, kind of connect the people and with the organization and things like that. And more so, recently in the last 6 years or so, I've been a HR consultant, an organization consultant. And the interesting thing about this is that I get to meet the top, let's say CXO levels of these organizations. And interestingly, my Geet Gata Chal troupe actually comprises of CFOs and COOs,
nice.
if you may like it. I mean, in the sense that they're all senior professionals in industry, ranging from logistics to consulting to finance and manufacturing and so on. So, the common interest, of course, is music. So I always end up talking about music because then it's not just official work. I also connect on the informal side, and that's probably my success mantra as well. So when I really indulge and talk about music, then that really kind of opens up another big vista of opportunities for those people. And that's how actually the Geet Gata Chal happened, in the sense that we were a group of about 8-9 like-minded people. And the common interest, of course, was music besides other things. And we said that why don't we kind of create a very unique niche, in the sense that we are not professional singers, but we are professionals from industry. So can we be professionals on stage?
Wow.
And that is the kind of the tagline or whatever, saying that we are professionals from industry and professionals on stage as well. Because that's how we like to conduct our programs as well. So we have, in the last, let's say, 3 to 3.5 years, we have now done about, let's say, 85 shows.
Wow.
Public, private, chamber music and all of that, including at receptions and at cultural events, corporate events, Rotary gatherings, and so on and so forth. And we have been known for quality of song quality, the selection of the songs, the choice of the songs rather, and our very professional and dedicated approach on the stage.
Excellent.
I think that's been
so we'll come back and find out more about Geet Gata Chal and what their next performance is going to be like and where you can catch them. But for now, it's time for your next performance. So what is going to be your next song?
Well, this is an R.D. Burman hit from the movie Mere Jeevan Sathi, 1972, sung by Kishore Kumar for who else? Rajesh Khanna.
Absolutely.
And there are several songs in that movie, but I have chosen O Mere Dil Ke Chain.
Perfect. It is something that we do play on Dil Se, and it's so it's an honor to hear it from you tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, G.D. Sharma singing O Mere Dil Ke Chain for you right here on Voice of Tomorrow with me, Tawseef, on Dil Se, only on Fever 91.9 FM. Idu Bollywood in Superstar.
दिल के चैन, ओ मेरे दिल के चैन, चैन आए मेरे दिल को दुआ कीजिए, ओ मेरे दिल के चैन, चैन आए मेरे दिल को दुआ कीजिए। अपना ही साया देख के तुम जाने जहां शर्मा गए, अभी तो ये पहली मंजिल है, तुम तो अभी से घबरा गए, मेरा क्या होगा सोचो तो जरा, हाय ऐसे न आहें भरा कीजिए ओ मेरे दिल के चैन आए मेरे दिल को दुआ कीजिए। आपका अरमा आपका नाम मेरा तराना और नहीं, इन झुकती पलकों के सिवा दिल का ठिकाना और नहीं, जचता ही नहीं आँखों में कोई, दिल तुमको ही चाहे तो क्या कीजिए ओ मेरे दिल के चैन आए मेरे दिल को दुआ कीजिए। यूं तो अकेला भी अक्सर गिर के संभल सकता हूँ मैं, तुम जो पकड़ लो हाथ मेरा दुनिया बदल सकता हूँ मैं। मांगा है तुम्हें दुनिया के लिए, अब खुद ही सनम फैसला कीजिए ओ मेरे दिल के चैन आए मेरे दिल को दुआ कीजिए ओ मेरे दिल के चैन